Betty was born in Fort Collins, Colorado to R. Claire Coffin and Jesse Edwards Coffin in 1950. Betty and her little sister Bobby spent a great childhood with some wintertime in California and summers at music camp for Bobby and Camp Chile for Betty. Betty got her lust for camping while climbing mountains and riding in Rocky Mountain National Park. After her bachelor's degree in psychology from Colorado University, she went to New York University for her master's in retailing, where she met George, her husband. George's parents had immigrated from Germany in the 1890s and were true New Yorkers, using the Deutsch as the language at home on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Betty was living in Greenwich Village when she met George, but they moved to Queensboro and had two children, Leslie and Jeff. In 1948, the family moved to Fort Gibson and then shortly to Muskogee, where George worked at the VA before starting Muskogee Beverage. In 1951, the third child, Karen, completed the family, along with the ever-present dog, of course. Betty was involved in Girl Scouts and the Presbyterian Church, and the month-long vacation to the West every summer. 2 years after moving to Muskogee, she met her lifelong friend Frances Peck with her only child, Peggy. Betty was a soccer mom before that term was used, running all over town in her unair-conditioned station wagon delivering kids to various events. In 1965, George passed away and Betty took over Muskogee Beverage, which she ran for 10 years before passing it on to her son Jeff. During the period that Grandma Betty worked outside the home at the beverage, she had 5 grandchildren, later to become 10, along with several great-grandchildren. After Grandma Betty, affectionately known as GB to lots of people, retired from the beverage, she spent a great deal of time traveling with Fran out west in a series of 4-wheel drive pickups with a pop-top camper. Barbara and Betty took almost 80 days to complete an around-the-world tour with their father in 1966. Later, she also started taking trips to other locales with her kids and grandkids. But on all occasions, she tried to stay out of the water. GB just didn't care for it, whether it was on a boat, taking a shower, or drinking. Of course, she did all these things, but just didn't enjoy it. Maybe it's because her daughter tried to drown her on the Snake River, or her son took her out into a pod of whales in a 4-man life raft in Mexico. Some other trips that tried not to involve water included being the oldest person ever to hike the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu, traveling Ecuador and the Galapagos with Jeff, Newfoundland with Leslie, Stephen, Sarah, and Laura, Thailand for Pung's graduation with Matt, Sarah, and Jeff, Turkey, Israel, and Cyprus with Jeff and Alan, Australian Alps with Les, Egypt with Karen, Hong Kong, Malaysia, India, New Zealand, Alaska, etc., etc. In 2004, Betty moved to Seattle to live with her granddaughter Laura, where she enjoyed ballet, theater, and several cruises, including Hawaii, the Panama Canal, and Caribbean. On GB's 91st birthday, she went zip trekking to celebrate in British Columbia. Betty passed away on May 26, 2007, the morning after celebrating her 92nd birthday with her family. GB strongly believed that your soul lives forever in the people you touch going through life.